Ondo State government has decried the way some people from neighboring states encroach on its reserves and forests across the state. The governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, said it would no longer be business as usual for fletchers, illegal loggers, and Indian hemp growers who trespass on government reserves. The governor spoke during the flag-off ceremony of the planting of teak melina seedlings by the West Africa Forest Plantations Limited at the Ondo State Afforestation Project, ORE. He added that the need to privatize Ondo State Afforestation Project became inevitable in order to avert dire consequences for the environment. The All Progressives Congress says rumors of its endorsement of President Muhammadu Buhari as its presidential candidate in 2019 are untrue. Fielding questions from journalists after its National Working Committee meeting with state governors and members of the National Assembly, spokesman of the party says that due process will be followed on who becomes their flag bearer. Those at the meeting also discussed next month's Anambra State governorship election and the upcoming National Executive Council meeting.
When Mr. President was asking the World Bank to focus attention on the development of the Northeast, he has in mind the necessary reconstruction that need to happen in that part of the country, especially in the Borno, Adamawa and Yobe axis that have suffered specifically or particularly as a result of the Boko Haram activities. It was not a statement at all intended to bifurcate the country and show preference for one region of the country against the other.
You may have noticed me taking the candidate of the party to be introduced to Mr. President, and we got the words of wisdom of Mr. President, particularly on the issue of provision of level playing ground for elections and ensuring that the elections are free, fair and transparent.
This is the beginning of making this party more focused, more actionable. Are issues that will strengthen this party, are issues that will continue to support the development and growth of Nigeria.
The Lagos State House of Assembly has confirmed the appointment of the acting Chief Judge of Lagos, Justice Okpeyemi Olufunmilayo. Justice Olufunmilayo's appointment was confirmed on Thursday by the legislature during the House plenary shortly after a screening session took place. Fielding questions from the lawmakers on the challenges in the state's judiciary and her plans, the new Chief Justice assured the House of plans on fixing the system.
It's not a matter of maybe a judge just wants to delay hearing of a case. Sometimes the delay comes even from the litigants themselves or from their lawyers. And then at times you have to deal with the issue of epileptic electricity and then so many things like that. But what I know is that the judges in Lagos State Judiciary are really determined to make sure that we do our work on time. What I want to do during this administration is to make sure that all cases are a thing of the past. And then there's going to be a lot of reorientation, not only among ourselves as judges, but also other stakeholders. We really need to do that.
2 months after taking its protest to the Nigerian Content Development Monitoring Board in Yanagoa, Joy Youth say they are ready to partner with the board to develop the Niger Delta. The central zone of the Joy Youth Council say they will support the board in youth empowerment and employment. They spoke to TVC's Ovietime Judge shortly after a peace meeting with board officials.
August the 31st, 2017, members of the Joy Youth Council Central Zone besieged the premises of the Nigerian Content Development Monitoring Board in protest over a purported planned abandonment of its headquarters for the use of liaison and branch offices to perform critical functions of the board. 2 months after the protest, the chairman and officers of the IYC Central Zone gave reasons for their action.
Our fear, sir, is that once that place is converted to a full-fledged branch office, it will affect the operations of this place. So, sir, we want to, on behalf of the Joy Youth Council Central Zone, formally apologize to you for what transpired a few weeks ago.
When you talk about relocation of office, how can that be? When you are spending money to build a 17-story building, so how can you relocate? So I think I need you guys to think. When you look at the act itself, it asks you to say, oh, you have to establish zonal offices in the oil-producing states. And those are already in existence. No zonal office is established in Lagos. No zonal office is established in Abuja until they are able to prove to us that they are producing oil.
The NCDMB Executive Secretary, Simbi Wabote, clears the air on contract awards to individuals and corporate organizations.
NCDMB is not a contracting organization. What it does is act as a catalyst for investment. We guarantee that if you put your investment, we are going to protect it to ensure that the demand coming out of the industry comes to your factory. That's our own guarantee.
We are happy because even training opportunities and other areas he has mentioned, that any moment from now, he would roll out his roadmap to engage youths of the Niger Delta. So for us, it was a good meeting, and we have also apologized to him.
The IYC Central youths were also advised to comport themselves in ways and manner that will not scare investors from the zone. Ovieteme George, TVC News, Yenagoa, Bayelsa State.
Frontline politician Senator Annie Okonkwo has declared support for Governor Willie Obiano in the upcoming governorship election in Anambra State. The one-time PDP senator led members of his political structure, Agunechemba Support Group, numbering more than 80,000 to endorse the governor for a second term in office.
Governor Obiano got a rousing welcome by supporters of Senator Okonkwo. The senator described Governor Willie Obiano's 3.5-year achievements as outstanding, especially in the area of security, agricultural development, industrial revolution, and human capital development. The lawmaker disassociated himself from the claim of partisanship, saying individual disposition should override party politics.
The person flying the flag of PDP, is an African person. So it's not the issue of anti-party. So if you think of anti-party, the PDP hierarchy did the first anti-party by bringing a non-PDP member to fly the flag of the PDP. So the issue of anti-party does not arise. What matters today is who is going to govern Anambra State well. And they've decided that the best person is for the Willie Obiano to continue. He has the remaining 4 years, and he should finish his 4 years to the place to be free for other zones to contest.
Supporting the lawmaker's position on the need for Anambra people to rally around Governor Willie Obiano's continued stay in office, stakeholders outlined the reason why the state should sustain the developmental stride.
All the other candidates, they don't have any executive experience. I don't know what they have done, but this is a man, we have a governor that have been in this state for 3 and over half years more, going on 4 years. And everything in this state is working. So I don't know what anybody is running for.
So since Dr. Willie Obiano is performing exceedingly well, he deserves equitable motivation. And the motivation should come in the form of giving him support to come back smoothly.
The occasion witnessed the formal handing over of the register containing names and signatures of the one-time lawmaker support group, numbering more than 80,000.
The House of Representatives has ordered an investigation into the termination of the contract between the Nigeria Ports Authority and the oil servicing company Intels Nigeria Limited. Raised as a matter of urgent public importance, members noted that there was a need to ascertain the exact reason for the termination of the contract.
A lot of dust has been raised over the decision by the federal government to terminate the pilotage monitoring and supervision agreement that the Nigerian Ports Authority had with Intels Nigeria Limited. The House of Representatives is now wading in, noting that the agreement between both parties included the construction and operation of Apapa, Warri, Federal Ocean Terminal Port, and One in Port Harcourt. It is worried about the implication of terminating the contract, which is that 7,000 Nigerians who are employees of Intels will be rendered jobless.
By the basis for the termination of the boats, pilotage, monitoring, and supervision agreement was on the alleged illegality of the agreement, cited the violation of some sections of the 1999 Constitution as amended, particularly on the Treasury single account policy of the federal government.
We want to concession Lagos Airport and Abuja Airport. The workers are protesting against it. The federal government says we must go ahead. And now what are we doing? Just taking a pen and cancelling a concession that's been going on. That is what we should be pointing to the rest of the world, that concessioning works in Nigeria. Without following due diligence, you want to cancel it. Mr. Speaker, you are inviting people in to come and invest money in Nigeria. Tell me, if you are an investor, will you come into a place like this with this attitude of government?
What has happened with the termination of the contract that had existed for close to 2 decades can only be situated in the context of some form of impunity. I therefore support that this House should investigate this matter.
The motion did not go without contest, with a lawmaker insisting that the House should not concern itself with private business entities. The Speaker in his response says it is pertinent to investigate if Intels has monopolized or abused the power of dominance.
If they have any problem with government, they should go to court. This motion shouldn't come here. I sympathize with those people that are working there. So before government could say what they have said, they must have looking at it very well.
We've had Kaita, we have those who have spoken for, against, but all those issues they have brought before us can only be established in consequence of investigation. Otherwise, the facts are not before the House. So I don't think there's anything to be added to this.
The House amended the prayer of the motion, asking that there be a return to status quo prior to termination and an ad hoc committee be charged to investigate and report back to the House in 2 weeks.
And well, that is a wrap on the news at this hour. For more, you can visit our website. It's tvcnews.tv, and you can join the conversation on our social media platforms using the handle at tvcnewsng. Thanks for watching. I am Veronica Danik Boy.